So you have to understand your worth. Tomorrow, inshallah, you boys will be over here. When you guys get older, you'll be sitting over here, inshallah. But in order to sit here, what you're doing right now, you have to do. MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah. Okay, friends, today's topic is a very interesting topic. You might have heard of it before, but I want you to pay special attention because there's several aspects to the story, and you can only understand if you listen very attentively, okay? Musa, my friend, I need all of you boys' undivided attention. So you boys, alhamdulillah, you have time to snack, you have time to play. Now it's time to listen. So just listen for the duration of the talk, and thereafter, you can do whatever you want outside. MashaAllah. Very good. Let's start. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Today's topic is Zulqarnain and Yajuj and Majuj. The English translation to Yajuj and Majuj is Gog and Magog. But we will use the Arabic words Yajuj and Majuj. Zulqarnain is a title, and his name was Iskandar. What was the name? Iskandar, okay. Let's assume if I ask you boys a question, and if you boys get the question right, say MashaAllah or Subhanallah, and try to refrain from clapping your hands, okay? Takbir is good as well, but only once, not multiple takbirs. Okay, let's continue. So Zulqarnain was among the 4 kings in the history of humanity whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave rule over the entire world. So there were 4 kings. 2 were Muslims and 2 were non-Muslims. The non-Muslim kings, their names were Namrud. Number 1, Namrud. Number 2, Bukht Nasr. So these were the 2 non-Muslim kings who ruled the entire world. Now the 2 Muslim kings who ruled the entire world, one of their names were Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam, who was a Nabi. And the second one was Zulqarnain, whose English name is Iskandar or Alexander. Keep in mind, Zulqarnain is not, I repeat, Zulqarnain is not Alexander the Great. Okay, this is a completely different personality whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the glorious Quran. Now, who was this individual? Who was Zulqarnain? Who was Iskandar? So we find many narrations, and I'll just quote a few narrations. He used to reside during the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Rather, he performed Hajj with him, and he performed Udhiyah sacrifice with Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. This is according to one narration. According to another narration, Zulqarnain came afterwards, and he came afterwards during the time of Daniel alayhi salam, who was also a prophet among the Bani Israel. Nonetheless, whether he was from the time of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam or from the time of Daniel alayhi salatu wasalam, Zulqarnain was an extremely pious king, a very pious man. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted Zulqarnain every single means that a king would need to carry out his daily work. So once Zulqarnain, he set out, and he traveled until he reached the farmost west part. When he reached the farmost west part, he found a nation. He found some people. And the Quran describes the entire incident. Then he continued his travel until he traveled all the way to the far east, where again he found some people, and these people, they couldn't understand much. So he continued his journey for the third time, and the historical narrations mention that he traveled to the north, my friends. Akib, where did he travel? To the north. Very good. You're doing very good today, mashallah. So he traveled to the north. When he traveled to the north, there were two high, gigantic mountains situated side by side, with a valley in between. So in between these two gigantic mountains, there lived a nation, there lived a community who was constantly being bombarded by another nation known as Yajuj and Majuj. So when Zulqarnain arrived in that region, in that area, this community complained to Zulqarnain that inna Yajuj wa Majuj mufsiduna fil ard, that Yajuj and Majuj, Gog and Magog, this nation is causing havoc amongst us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted Yajuj and Majuj exceptional strength. So they couldn't fight back. They would come into their territory and they would kill people, hurt people, steal their wealth, and they would return back to their area. So they said to Zulqarnain, can you please build some kind of wall, some kind of obstacle between us and them, because they keep hurting us, they keep killing us. We will collect money, we will collect funds, and we will give it to you. So Zulqarnain said, Jazakum Allahu khairan, I don't need your money, I need your manpower. I need your manpower. So all of the material was collected to build a wall. Zulqarnain started stacking logs of iron. So these logs of iron were stacked, and wood and copper were used as mortar. So on top of this humongous iron wall, Zulqarnain, he poured molten copper to make it even more stronger and even more fortified. So fire was lit, that wall was very strengthened and very fortified, and it was very smooth. And after Zulqarnain built this wall, he said that Alhamdulillah, this is an accomplishment of the mercy of my Lord. Now, Yajuj and Majuj were unable to climb the wall or pierce the wall. On a side note, my friends, Yajuj and Majuj are human beings. They're not aliens. They're not some kind of monsters. They are human beings with exceptional strength and powers. We find some details about Yajuj and Majuj mentioned in the books of Hadith. Their faces are relatively flat, eyes small, and they are the descendants of the son of Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, whose name was Yafith. So they were the progeny of Yafith bin Nuh. And there were two groups. So one group would cause destruction, and another group was civilized. So one group which was uncivilized, they are locked up behind that wall and barricaded behind that wall till this very day. And this will continue until the time for them to emerge from that wall comes. The other group, my friends, the other group, they transitioned into the the Tatars. There's a group called the Tatars. Mongolians. So they belong to that nation. Okay? So right now, they are still in that space of theirs, and they are barricaded behind that wall. Every single day, Yajuj and Majuj, they dig and they make significant progress, and they dig to the point where now they can start to see light. That means if they continue to dig, they might be able to come out. So the entire day they will dig until they start to see a shade of light. And then they say to one another, we will come back tomorrow and we will finish the job. But they forget to say, Insha'Allah. So this has been going on for years, and this will continue until their time of emergence comes. Now, when their time of emerging comes, they will say, let's continue to dig. And when they see that shade of light, that ray of light, they will say, we will come back tomorrow and we will complete the job, Insha'Allah. When they say these words, the next morning, when they come, they will find that the progress that they made is intact, and very easily they will be able to leave their place of imprisonment. Right now, when they come back the next morning, let's assume they've dug 5 meters into the ground. So when they come back in the next morning, again, through the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is patched up. And they have to start all over again. So every single day, for example, they are digging 5 meters. The next morning they come, it's back to square one. So 5 meters, back to square one. 5 meters, back to square one. 5 meters, back to square one. But when they say, Inshallah, 5 meters will remain 5 meters. They'll come the next morning, they'll dig some more, and they will then disperse and cause havoc. Now, friends, listen very carefully. This is just the first part. Second part. Second part is, among the first major sign of the Day of Judgment is the coming of Imam Mahdi, then the coming of Dajjal, and then the descent of Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. So first Imam Mahdi will come. During his time, there will be extreme fighting Ibrahim. There will be very intense fighting between the Muslim army and the non-Muslim army. This is during the time of Imam Mahdi. Then Dajjal will appear. And it comes in the books of Hadith, Dajjal will appear between the region of Sham and Iraq, which is known as Asfahan, which is situated in current day and modern day Iran. What's it called? Asfahan. Dajjal will come for 40 days. The first day will seem like 1 year. The second day will seem like 1 month. The third day will seem like 1 week. And the remaining days will be normal days. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send Isa alayhi salatu wasalam for a special mission. That special mission will be to slay and to kill the Dajjal. So he will kill him with his sword or with his spear. After Dajjal is killed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will instruct Isa alayhi salatu wasalam to take his nation to the mountain of Tur. So one group will go to the mountain of Tur, Muslims, yes, and another group, they will take refuge in very strong fortresses, and the other group of humanity, they will be destroyed by Yajuj and Majuj, because when Isa alayhi salatu wasalam will take his people to the mountain of Tur, that's when Yajuj and Majuj will emerge, and they will be in such large numbers that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa has said, the ratio of Yajuj and Majuj's nation to the rest of humanity is 10 to 1. That means if there's 10 members of Yajuj and Majuj, there will be only 1 member which is not from that nation. So majority of the people who will be sent to Jahannam, Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was told that take a group of people out from Jahannam. He asked, which group? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, from every 1,000, take out 999. That means 999 groups belonging to Yajuj and Majuj will go to Jahannam, and that one group will go into Jannah. So just imagine the largeness of the group. So when this nation emerges, we find these details that they will be stepping on one another. That's how many of Yajuj and Majuj there will be. They'll be stepping on one another, tripping and falling, and their ultimate objective is to cause destruction and cause havoc. So they will start with Buhaira Tabariya. Buhaira Tabariya. They will drink all the water from Buhaira Tabariya. Then a second group of Yajuj and Majuj will come, and they will find Buhaira Tabariya, which is a small little river or lake. They will find it dry. So they will go around and cause havoc, and they will say that we have killed every single person on the face of this earth. Now let's kill people in the heavens. So they'll take their arrows and they'll shoot them into the sky. And with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the arrows will come back with blood on them. This doesn't mean that they have killed anyone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just wants to make them realize that they may have killed someone, but they have killed no one. So nonetheless, those arrows will be brought back, and upon the dua of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam and his followers, keep in mind this is after the Dajjal has already been killed. So when Isa alayhi salatu wasalam makes dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send large birds whose necks will be as large as the necks of camels. They will come and they will destroy this nation, and we find other narration wherein they will be plagued with an epidemic. They'll have a disease on the back of their neck, and this will result into their death. Nonetheless, they will all die. And when Isa alayhi salatu wasalam is instructed to leave the Mount of Tur, he will now descend from the Mount of Tur, and he will see that all of their corpse, all of their bodies are just lying there rotting away. So again, he will make dua to Allah, oh Allah, please resolve this issue. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send these gigantic birds, and the birds will take their bodies away, and thereafter, rain will fall, and rain will wash away all of the impurities on the face of this earth. This will be the end of Yajuj and Majuj. Thereafter, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam will rule for how many years? 40 years. During these 40 years of rule, the entire humanity and every single human being will accept Islam. There will be no one on the face of this earth apart from a mu'min and a Muslim. After his demise, and he will be buried alongside the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. To those of you who have gone for Hajj and Umrah, you will see the grave. It's empty. You can see the golden mesh enclosure which will house Isa alayhi salatu wasalam's body. That is empty. That is reserved only for him. When he comes, he will be buried in that spot next to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. After Isa alayhi salatu wasalam passes away, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make more major signs happen. Among these major signs, one major sign will be Allah will make a strong, pleasant wind pass. And this will pass under every single Muslim's arms, eventually leading to their death. Now keep in mind, every single Muslim will die, and now only non-Muslims will remain. And which non-Muslims? Those non-Muslims who are considered to be extremely wretched. And after some time, Qiyamah will occur. So Qiyamah will occur upon which type of people? The most wretched of all people, and not Muslims. Okay? There are several other signs as well. Another sign is the emergence of the beast. The beast is that talking animal which will appear from the earth. It will talk, and thereafter it will leave. Another major sign, the sun will set from the west instead of setting from the east. After these major signs happen, then for a person to accept Islam, for a person to say, I am a Muslim, will not be allowed. I hope you boys understood the gist of today's talk. Now, inshallah, I will ask questions. Please do not shout out the answers. If you know the answers, please kindly raise your hands. Who was Zulqarnain? Yes, my friend. MashaAllah. How many kings did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow to rule the entire world? Qasim. 4. Very good. I want their names and I want their religion. Who knows? Yes, my friend. MashaAllah. Very good. Names? MashaAllah. Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam, number 1. A Nabi. He ruled the entire world. Entire world, yes. East and west. Entire world. And? Dhul-Qarnayn. Mashriq and Maghrib. East and west, the entire world. MashaAllah. And which 2 non-Muslims ruled the entire world? Yes, my friend. Namrud. Very good, MashaAllah. You're paying attention. And who was the other person? Ayyan. No, not Fir'aun. Who knows? It starts with a ba. Yes. It starts with a B. Ba. Yes, my friend. You're on the right track. First answer, yes. Close, yes. Osman? Ibrahim? Sorry? Bakhtuta, no, my friend. There's no such person as Bakhtuta. Yes. Friends, it's Bakht or Bukhte Nasr. Okay? Bukhte Nasr, Namrud, Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam, and Dhul-Qarnayn, whose name was Iskandar. But he's different from the Alexander the Great that we find in the books of history. Okay, very good, mashallah. When Dhul-Qarnayn traveled in the northern direction, what complaint did the community of that region make to him? Yes, my friend.
So they complained that some people were bombing them, so they need a wall.
Not bombing them, but killing them. Yes.
So they needed a wall so people wouldn't come.
MashaAllah. Very good. Can someone explain to me how that wall was built? Musa. Sorry? Wood? Okay, wood was used, wood was a part of it. Wood was used as mortar. Do you boys know what mortar is? Mortar is that glue type liquid which is used to join bricks. So you'll see those white little mortar in between which glues bricks together. So wood was used as mortar and? Copper, very good. So the initial wall was built with iron and then molten copper was poured on top of it. Very good, mashallah. Can you boys tell me? Can you tell me when Yajuj and Majuj, no, before we go to that question, what are Yajuj and Majuj doing right now? Ayyan. Okay, 5 meters is just an example, okay? I just give an example. Yeah, they're digging a hole. Yes. Very good, mashallah.
The thing is, they dig the hole and they say, we will finish this without saying, we will finish this the next day without saying inshallah. So they rest and then they come back and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala patches up that hole and they dig it again. This keeps happening until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants them to get out.
Very good. MashaAllah. Okay, mashallah, very good. Now, I want to mention a very important point. Despite modern science, even in today's day and age, that exact location is unknown. No one knows where Yajuj and Majuj are. And there's several explanations. One explanation is that perhaps Allah may have hidden it, kept it hidden from the human eye. Otherwise, with satellite images and Google Maps, you can go anywhere and you can find anything. But this location will never ever be found until Allah destines for it to happen. Remember that. Look at the power of Allah. So Google cannot even detect their exact location. No. No one will be able to. Okay, let me ask another question. What will happen when Isa alayhi salatu wasalam comes after he kills the Dajjal? Musa. Okay, mashallah, very good. Yajuj and Majuj will emerge. What will they do? Maurice. Yes. What was that river's name? Can anyone remember? Yes, my friend. Buhaira. What was the second part? Buhaira? My friend, yes. Ibrahim? Buhaira what? Buhaira? Who knows? Buhaira Tabariya. Okay, can you explain to me how Allah will kill Yajuj and Majuj? Mahira.
So what's going to happen is when they kill all, when they think they killed all the people, they say we've killed everyone on this earth, and but then they want to kill the people in the heavens, and then they shoot in the sky, and Allah makes the arrows come back with blood, and then after that they get hit. Soon later they get a disease on their neck, and they die.
Yes, they die. And how does Allah remove them from the face of this earth? My friend, yes. Very good. And then what will happen after that? My friend, yes. Abdullah, right? Abdullah. What's your name? Hassan, Abdullah? Yes. What's your name? Yes, Hamza, sorry. You need to put a take so I can remember. What's that? Rain will happen. Rain will come. And rain will wipe and wash them away. Very good, mashallah. And how long will Isa alayhi salatu wasalam rule? Yes. 40 years, very good. Where will he be buried? If I remember, we have to wait our turn. Yes. Akif, right? Hassan. Sallallahu, very good, mashallah. Okay, which sign will come first? Yajuj Majuj, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, Dajjal, or Imam Mahdi? Yes, my friend. Imam Mahdi, very good. When he comes, what will be happening? Yes. Muhammad. Intense fighting, yes. Okay, this is a bonus question. Does anyone know who will the Muslims will be fighting with? A bonus question. Ibrahim. No. Yes, my friend. Well, yes. From which area? Yes. Romans. We find the word room. Romans. Now, how this will happen, let's leave the details to Allah, okay? Now, friend, before we leave, mashallah, you boys did an excellent job today. Musa, Akib, Musa'ab, all of you boys, mashallah, you were very well behaved. Now, every single time you come to the masjid, whether it's for a program or for salah, you boys behave in the same manner. Look, you have the potential to do a lot, right? Mashallah, you did very good. So every single day, friends, behave. Now, when you go outside, you play hard, and when you come inside, you listen attentively. I want the 4, 5, 6, and 7-year-olds to make their way to the back for snacks, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khair. 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Okay, 8, 9, and 10. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, my friend? MashaAllah. Salam. How are you? Okay, 10 and over. Assalamu alaikum.